All right, so welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to discuss our journey, our goals, and things like that. And this will probably be broken up into a few videos so they're not so long. And we have our wives asking the questions. So, first question.
So what was the aha moment or turning point that made you decide to start your weight loss journey?
Me, 3 years ago. Took the kids snowboarding, wanted to teach them that, and like just the realization of how out of shape I was. I felt it like legit in my hip bone, and that told me how old I was. But what really told me how out of shape I was just strapping up the bindings and then trying to get up. My gut was like straight up in the way, and like not a ton of confidence either. You know, like 10, 15 years ago, I would snowboard, not get tired, not be sore, hitting jumps, you know, just doing all this thing. And I did none of that. And I fell doing something super basic. And two, I was wrecked. Like that evening, just like felt like I had just ran a triathlon. Yeah. And I had done that in the past. Right. It felt exactly the same.
Yeah, and so for me, is really similar. We went skiing, separate trip 3 years ago as well, and my body just could not keep up. Used to be able to jump, couldn't jump anymore, and you know, again, you start thinking it's old age. It wasn't old age; it was just being overweight and obese. So,
yeah, I would get winded trying to get up on my feet.
Yeah,
it was bad.
Awful.
Yeah, so, and like I hadn't noticed, like I knew I was out of shape, and now looking back at pictures of myself is like really shows me how out of shape I was, and I didn't really know it.
Yeah, and so and the other thing that was with me is I avoided mirrors, I avoided cameras, didn't like pictures taken, and it's not that I was consciously thinking that, but that's what was going on. So obviously something had to give. I had to make a change.
Yeah, and like for me, I wouldn't, if we went to the beach on like a vacation, I wouldn't take my shirt off. But that wasn't enough for me to want to make a change.
Yeah.
It was doing something I used to do years ago and then feeling fully out of shape. Like completely just, I felt like a different person.
Yeah. And I think that's key too, because certain things are going to make it so you don't want to make a change. And even someone telling you, hey, you're overweight, you need to get in shape. A lot of those things are not going to lead to a drastic change in their lifestyle. That's going to have to come internally. And unfortunately, there's no guarantee, universal control for that. I mean, everyone's going to be different. So for each person, you need to figure out what that is that's going to kickstart your initial motivation.
Yeah, that's true.
Next question. How much weight were you hoping to lose initially, and what did your starting point look like? Like habits, mindset, daily life?
So for me, my starting weight was 310 pounds. I really thought that 220 was going to be where I ended up. And I did get to 220. And I realized that more was necessary. And that's when I really got into strength training, because even at that weight, you know, you diet down to that, you realize there's more that needs to happen. So that's when after doing that for so long, about a year and a half, that's when I began the strength side of things. So I guess, yeah, now it's more focused on strength. But
yeah, for me, it was kind of the same thing. I just started with, honestly, I did the V-Shred diet. And like the V-Shred, if you buy V-Shred, he really like wants you to work out. He has like a workout schedule too, but I didn't do that. All I did was the dieting. I started out, my heaviest I remember weighing myself at was 213. And I just thought if I could lose 20 to 30 pounds, I'd be happy with that. And I did get down to like in the 170s without weight training, without doing any of that. And I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
And then I fell off the diet and wanted to get back into the gym. And that's the thing, where then it changed to actually want to get in shape. not just lose the weight. But yeah, I'd say my initial goal was 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Which I did lose just strictly dieting, which is
you'll
crazy.
Find, and I think as you begin the journey, you'll find that. So for me, my initial thought was lose the weight and then I can do whatever I want. You're going to learn there's so much more involved, and it is a lifestyle change. Goals are great, but you have to be flexible with those goals.
That's true.
Okay, and with that, what was your biggest misconception about weight loss before you actually began?
Should have paid attention to that question.
No, that's fine. My biggest misconception was, I think it came from when I was younger. Like, it was so easy to kind of like fluctuate my weight when I was younger. Like, I'd stop drinking soda and I would lose 5 to 10 pounds.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest misconception, is like I went in thinking that, and then like as I got older, that didn't change, and that messed me up and thinking like, I don't know what I need to do.
Yeah.
I don't know how to fix this, because I thought I ate decent.
Yeah. I think my biggest misconception that it was that weight loss was all that was needed. And you realize that you need more than just being in a calorie deficit to look the way you want to look. It's not just going to happen naturally.
Well, didn't you like starve yourself basically? Like,
yeah, totally. Total crash diet. 60 pounds in 3 months. It was.
Yeah, because you wouldn't eat, right?
Right. For me, it was a personal punishment. I'm not recommending that for anyone else.
No,
but my journey would, and everyone's going to have their own journey. They're going to have their own learning curve, their own ups and downs. Some of the things that, we can help teach because we've made the mistakes. But crash diet's not always the best way to do it.
Right.
All right, what was one change? No, I'm sorry. What approach did you take? Calorie tracking, specific diet, like keto, low carb, intermittent fasting, exercise focus, mindset, or a mix?
When I started, it was like what really sold me on the V-Shred diet. And I kind of like quotes, it worked. I don't think it's for everybody. But because it's like, take this test, do this different. But what he sold me was metabolism. You can change your metabolism with diet. And the more I'm into this, I don't really know how true that actually is. Because there are foods that can help, quote unquote, burn a little more calories faster. There are, what do they call those? A diuretic.
Yeah.
Like asparagus. I mean, coffee is a diuretic. So like you could introduce those things, but that was my first look of just. I kind of forgot the question. I'm sorry.
What approach did you take?
That was my approach, was to go after this, adjust your metabolism. And like, that's what I wanted to change so bad, because in my mind, my metabolism was broken.
Yeah. Although it wasn't.
No, my diet was broken.
Right.
And when I did the diet, it showed me how bad my diet was broken.
Yeah.
Where it was like, I didn't realize how much I was eating for lunch, how much I was eating for breakfast and dinner, and that wasn't calorie counting. That was just like, here's your serving sizes for each meal. And it had me eating 6 times a day.
Yeah.
But they were very small servings.
Right.
And there might be some science to back that up, that does speed up your metabolism a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I've seen so much that kind of goes against that.
Yeah.
But that was how I started out.
Yeah. And so for me, I crash dieted. I dropped down to 1,400 calories a day, just drank water strictly for 3 months. Intermittent fasting was my friend. Not so much that I believe in intermittent fasting, which I do. I believe it has a lot of benefits. It's just, I didn't want to track 6 meals a day. So I just preferred to eat 1 meal a day for a 4-hour window, 20 no eating, 4 on. And that became okay for me. Again, that's not for everybody. People who have blood sugar problems necessarily can't do that, but I was in a position to do that. So I think everyone can, obviously it's calories in, calories out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, however you have to do that to get started whatever's more convenient for you, I think is the way to do it.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that. Like, especially in your line of work as being a brick mason, basically, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's a very physical job, and you're burning a lot of calories throughout the day. Like, me personally, I get shaky if I don't eat at a certain amount of time.
Right. Everyone's different in that sense. I had a lot of fat to burn, though.
He was angry all the time.
He was angry all the time.
I was angry a lot, but you
were hangry
it was
all the time.
so worth it.
Is that
What was one change you made early on that had the biggest impact, and why do you think it worked so well?
Mm-hmm.
I would say the change in what I ate. Like, I mean, with where I work, we get in kind of like, or at least they did. We don't anymore. They got in like habits. Like, if we were doing Chick-fil-A for lunch, we would do Chick-fil-A for like all week. And then if Mexican, we'd go to Mexican all week, or, you know, something like that. And like, what I really realized with that V-Shred diet is, like, Mexican, I get 2 quesadillas, queso dip. Like, I didn't feel like it was that bad. But then when I started tracking calories, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm having like 2,200 calories at lunch. And then eating all the fried foods and just getting in that habit. So that was very, very surprising to me. It was seeing how I ate before. And once I realized how poor I was eating, I think that was the biggest shift. And I really try to not go that crazy when I eat.
Yeah. What was the question again?
What was one change you made early on that had the biggest impact, and why do you think it worked so well?
So I think early on for me, because I probably, I mean, you know, they haven't told me this, but I think I had a food addiction, was finding the proper place for food. And so that's why the crash diet actually worked for me, because I realized that food had its place, and that allowed me to see what its place was. So again, I punished myself with food, but that's only because I had a food addiction. Again, is that right? Probably not. I'm sure someone's going to say that's wrong, but that's how I did it.
Nice. Well, we're gonna break right here. We'll be back in our next video with more questions, basically on our journey and what our goals are in the future.